Hello, welcome back. Here we are, Founders Live Denver. It has been a month. It's been a minute, been a few months. Since the last time we were here, we were in a pandemic. We couldn't go outside. It was really boring. And this event was virtual, but it is still virtual for. I highly encourage you to stay tuned, and we will be seeing you in person, hopefully, shortly. We almost did it this time, but welcome back to Founders Live. In case you don't know, Founders Live is a virtual entrepreneurship experience. Our goal is to bring together founders and entrepreneurs of all stripes, really connecting people from the local community. We were founded several years ago by our founder, Nick Hughes. And the idea was really to be sort of this local homepage for the community itself, right? For local communities, because, everyone that gets the attention is always the big cities, the large cities, et cetera. But this is really meant to be a place for each of the cities. There's more than 60 of our different cities. So in case you don't know, I'm gregarious. I am the city leader here in Denver for Founders Live. And as I mentioned, we are both a global and local community. So it's actually an aggregation of lots of small local communities connecting together to form one global community. The mission, of course, being to be ultimately sort of the homepage, mentorship center, and connectivity point for entrepreneurs around the world, provide online community, polling, and lots of content like these live streaming events here as well. We do a number of monthly events. On any given night, there's probably 2 to 3 Founders Live events going on. Like I mentioned earlier, we have something like 60 or 70 different cities globally, all streaming at the same time. So it's a wonderful experience. And we're trying to be the top media platform for entrepreneurs. Just to show you, this is so I apologize. This is an older map, but we are at way more cities than you actually can see here. It is international. We are in several places in South America and more. So if you are in any of those areas, we highly encourage you to go out there and participate in a Founders Live event nearby. We do live stream all of our events, but as I mentioned, we will be moving back to sort of probably a hybrid approach to this, where we'll probably do live streaming. We've always done live streaming. Actually, before COVID, we were doing live streaming, so not new for us. But we always live stream, so anyone could participate and experience the startup communities in different cities. But in addition, we are also going live. We also do physical events so that the communities have a chance to connect with each other. So, some simple core values here at Founders Live. Obviously, be respectful, and we respect authenticity over everything else, right? We want to be an inclusive environment where you are free to be yourself and share, but also, most importantly, that you can respect others and the journey that they are on themselves. We believe in storytelling, and so we highly invest in sort of the power of sharing your stories, because stories actually, they are a better form of communication, but also they help us develop empathy for each other, and we learn better through stories. So we are here to sort of sit around this campfire, proverbially, as we are all together. We also believe in helping others for the sake of helping others, and not because you need something back. So we highly encourage you to be open and warm and sharing and caring with all the members of your community. And then we believe in definitely getting to know each other. So by all means, we don't really endorse the idea of name tags, but we want it to be fun, and we want you to make friends. So hopefully you'll have the opportunity to do that as well. So Founders Live is possible because of not only our great community members, but also because we have some amazing sponsors. We have sponsors that are both global and local, now CFO, AWS, the Riveter, some of our local sponsors, and of course, wrong window. We also have our larger global sponsors. So our presenting sponsor, in case you didn't know, is Amazon Web Services. And what they do is they provide $5,000 to every one of our presenters tonight. And we also have a special prize for the winner, who will get $10,000 for their activity today as well. So you will get to choose who that winner will be later. So today we're going to start off, though, with a little bit of a chat just to talk about what it's like going back into the real world. And to that end, I'm going to bring in a couple of my friends here, Sam and Austin. What's up, gang? How are you?
Doing great. How are you doing, Greg?
Not bad, you know. I've fortunately gotten to meet both of you in the real world already as well. And, I wanted to just take a moment to chat about, you're both entrepreneurs. You both have products that largely benefit or service sort of the real life communities, real life people out and about in the real world. And I was just curious, I want to hear your thoughts like on the return to sort of business, right? Austin, I know we were talking the other day and you made some really interesting changes as part of the process of making it through the pandemic, but now you're on the other side. I'm kind of curious to hear from both of you about what are you seeing? Are customers coming back? Are people coming back? Is business picking up? And is there anything fundamentally different about business now that we're sort of moved into this environment? Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I'm happy to take it.
Go ahead.
So my business partner, Jason, and I have Green Spaces Co-working in Denver. And we also have a location in Winter Park as well. We also have a brick and mortar coffee shop up there called The Perk. So being in the brick and mortar business, it was super challenging during COVID. We had to shut down our doors kind of to new members with the co-working space. We had to work with members on a case-by-case basis, to allow certain people to come in and make sure that there's plenty of distance in between people. I felt like we were just continuously making changes with the coffee shop during that time. We're only doing online orders, only doing takeout. We're closed for this amount of time. Then people get sick and whatnot, and you have to shut down for 2, 3, 4 weeks. So we kind of had it all during COVID. And I just remember a couple weeks in, Jason and I got on a call with each other as we were working from home, which was kind of a first for us in a couple of years, at least, since we had been in business together. And we were just we got 2 options right now. We can literally either give up right now, or we can just decide to get creative and make it work. And so that was a decision we made internally, very early on within COVID. And so I think that decision was very helpful for us, just as entrepreneurs, to sort of just hold each other accountable to that decision that we made, and made that commitment to each other. And so, we've sort of just taken it as it's come to us, and we've just made decisions and sort of tried to just stay on top of the guidelines released by CDC, and just tried to abide by that the whole time. The last thing we wanted to do was be doing anything wrong to where we were going to be fined or anything like that, heaven forbid, another fine or something like that. So we made it through doing everything kosher. And now I feel like we're really close to being on the other side of it, obviously, with the vaccine rolling out. People are returning back into the office from the co-working space. And we made that bet that, there's going to be a certain subsection of the market of people who are working from home who just need to get out of the house. And so we stuck with it, and we've kind of come up with some different membership options to incentivize people to come get out of the house a couple days a week at least. We actually rolled out a $99 membership, which we've never gone that low before. But that was designed specifically for people to get out of the house a couple days a week. That's for the person who works productively from home, has gotten to their rhythm, but maybe they just want to have some social interaction or come to a happy hour once a week. So we're super excited about just the events and whatnot that we're able to start hosting again, 1 million cups, and hopefully Founders Live in the future, like we talked about. We're really excited about that. And we're optimistic about this summer. I mean, people are out and about, people are going out, they're getting drinks, they're getting food in the Rhino area, and people are starting to come back in. So it's starting to get a lot more fun as brick and mortar entrepreneurs.
So number one, congrats on making it through. Honestly, co-working seemed like one of the things that had the least chance of survival, right? As people pushed work, everyone's work got pushed to the edges basically in home, right? So it's great that you guys actually were able to navigate that. The $99 thing I think is interesting. Do you think, do you expect like a land rush back, right? Like, cause like, I feel like there's like this pent up desire for everyone to just be out more now. Like, I almost feel like, I'm curious, like if co-working is really just becoming like, just like physical networking, like that almost feels as valuable now as like the office space might have in the past, right? Just like a chance to reconnect in person with people in a productive, proactive manner.
Yeah, well, I mean, the office landscape is rapidly changing right now, or it has already rapidly changed. And I don't think we're going to see companies go back to the old traditional way of signing 5 and 10-year leases after they've experienced that, teams can work productively from home and in this sort of asynchronous way. And at the same time, I think there's a lot of people who still agree that there's a lot of benefit to being in person with your team at least a couple days a month, whether that be, once a week, once a month, once a quarter. So yeah, we can speculate how that's going to play out, but what Jason and I have done is we're just taking the approach of like really being in tune with what customers are asking for right now. And yeah, we're just going to adapt as the office landscape sort of transforms right now.
Yeah, this hybrid environment, new puppy, which seems like the new norm. I don't know that anyone knows what that means, right? Like it feels like we're going back, but it feels like everyone's saying we're going to have a hybrid approach, but there is no norm for what a hybrid approach will look like to begin with, right? So I think it's really interesting times just in terms of like sort of a lot of surface area for innovation, I guess, right? In how you leverage space, time, connectivity, relationships, and all these other pieces, which I think, co-working spaces were, at the forefront of trying to do anyway, right? So I think that's a great, it's a great opportunity. Sam, I'm curious, you're building an alcohol company. I mean, I think alcohol sales went up during the pandemic, did they not?
They did. Unfortunately, I was not the brand was not launched yet. I was actually planning to launch in April of last year, so I was coming onto the scene right as things were getting pretty interesting. And what's you hear that the alcohol sales were up, but most of that was the traditional like known players in the market, the Anheuser-Busch, Jack Daniels of the world. So a lot of my colleagues in the craft beverage space were struggling a lot because it's really difficult. So much of the initial break-in to the market of a new brand is driven through trial and through conversations with people that are really intimately knowledgeable of the brand. And with COVID restrictions, there was no sampling, there was no trial really being able to happen. So that's when Austin was talking and they were navigating everything, the underlying theme was just staying agile. So with a launch plan that really revolved around parties and being with people and doing sampling, it was immediately crumple that up, throw it to the side and get back to the drawing board. But now we're at a stage where all that's starting to open back up. So all the planning that's been going on for a year kind of with these COVID restrictions in mind, thankfully, we learned how to stay agile. So now we're adapting as we're going, and farmers markets are opening back up, and like mask restrictions are changing. So I'm able to give someone a sample, talk to them face to face, and have that kind of emotional connection that was lacking for the last 15 plus months. So that was a little bit of a tangent off of the alcohol sales, but yeah, it's been really challenging. I know a lot of brands that either had to pivot really substantially or shut their doors during the pandemic just because they weren't able to get the traction that's needed in the first couple months of the brand in order to solidify themselves. Which was a theme for a lot of things. The rich got richer. The big brands really capitalized. They doubled down. They already had the supply chain and infrastructure in place, and the small guys were kind of left by the wayside a lot of the times.
Yeah. So Austin, I'm curious, like WeWork took a banging right before the pandemic started, and then massive reset, I guess, since, right? Like, Are there any good lessons learned, I guess, in their model, by the way, I believe has moved to something similar to what you're describing, actually, like a universal pass or something like to that effect. Anything, like any feedback or thoughts on like what happened in that environment, or how are you picking up people from there now?
I mean, there's been several spaces that have closed down, and we've just tried very, very hard to be in tune with our inbound lead pipeline, and with picking up the phone and answering calls. I mean, the market's getting hotter right now, and we've been able to sell quite a few offices in the last month that were sort of sitting kind of vacant for a couple months, and then they'd be rented for a month or so throughout the pandemic. But yeah, there's a couple who have shut down, and we've been able to leave some space to them. As far as the whole WeWork thing goes, I think that we've always kind of approached that conversation as like, look at the music industry and look at the conversation around like what happened with Napster and now we're look at Spotify now. So we sort of see like everything that went down with that brand. As for us, it's kind of free press for co-working as an industry, because co-working was a new thing starting in 2008. Regus has been around since the late 80s, but we didn't start seeing a bunch of brands roll out really until 08. And then WeWork kind of like, went and got all the press. And so I think we've seen that as just kind of like free marketing for the whole industry. More and more people are starting to see what's going on there, and they're going, oh, what is co-working? So people who didn't really know what it was before are now opened up to the concept. And I think that just helps, smaller brands like ourselves, because now more people know that there are flex workspaces available. And especially in a time like COVID, all of these companies are not re-signing their leases. And so, I believe that flex spaces are the answer.
Yeah.
For the future.
Now, you guys also have a coffee brand as well, though, right? So I guess in some ways you share some of the challenges maybe Sam has faced as well.
Yeah, we do. And that's sort of how Jason and I got into the co-working industry. Was I was actually working remote for Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and I moved up to Winter Park just because I love the outdoors, and found myself working out of the coffee shop. And Jason saw a lot of people like myself going up to the mountains and working remotely, with sort of this like wave of tech and remote work of companies who are, either relocating to the Front Range, or people are just moving here to work remotely because Denver's a sweet place to live. And yeah, Jason was like, what do you think about opening a co-working space? So he did, like, next week. That's what I love about working with Jason. He's such an action taker. He doesn't just talk about things, he makes them happen. And so we've always seen like co-working and coffee like working together. So we definitely had the same challenges in COVID, but Jason and I love the concept of like creating quote unquote like no-brainer offers. So the way that we work the coffee shop and the co-working space in Winter Park is like we've offered kind of an initial like no-brainer $9 day pass. So that's how we filled up the space in Winter Park. Was the coffee shop was the foot traffic generator. People would come in, we'd sell a $9 day pass. We would expose them to the co-working space. We'd upsell them to a monthly recurring membership. At the time, our lowest one was $199, but that's where the whole idea came out of, or for COVID to launch this $99 membership. Like, let's create more of like a no-brainer option to allow people to just get out of their house for a couple days a week. And $99 is so much easier than, $200 or $300 a month for people who are only going to come in a couple days a week.
And I'm not in the co-working space, but just kind of speaking with what Austin was talking about, I think with things opening back up, but companies not re-signing those 5 and 10-year leases, I think we're going to see so much more of baked into the benefits package. Here's $200 a month, allotment or per diem for you to go and use as you wish in some sort of remote working capacity. So I think that there's going to be a really, pretty sharp increase in demand in people that are looking for options like green spaces that are out there.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I like the model, and I think as we see like more unbundling happening in more things, that model has a lot of interesting appeal. And I do think, like, as I always told my salespeople in my last company, know whose budget you're pulling from and how it works, right? And so if you can figure out like what it takes to work inside that budget, you have a better chance at doing well at closing sales and generating new business. So, well, thanks, gents. I appreciate the quick chat, but let's move on to what we're here for, which is to do some pitching. So I'm going to switch you off for a sec, and then we're going to jump back to our presentation. So, whoa, is that the one I want? Is that the one I want? Yeah. All right. So the way we're about to do the next part of the event is really just it's really our pitching. It's what Founders Live, one of the things that's most well known for. And the way that works is that our entrepreneurs here will have 99 seconds to present their business, tell us as much as they can in that 99 seconds. And then they'll have up to 4 minutes for Q&A from you out in the audience. So if you're out there watching right now, leave a comment, let us know where you're from, and get your questions ready so you can ask them after their pitch. Okay. That's your first opportunity to actually like sort of start to understand, to learn more. So 99 seconds is not a lot. So I automatically and preemptively give everyone a round of applause, because it's hard to get through and explain something that means so much to you in such a short period of time, but they will be able to do it. I know it for sure. So up first, we have our friend Sam. I'm going to bring Sam back up here. And I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to add this. All right, Sam. So I'm going to tell you when to start, and then you've got 99 seconds to go. Are you ready? Set.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, go for it.
Hey, everyone. My name is Sam Moore. I'm the founder and CEO of Oslo, tequila's favorite mixer. In today's world, tequila is completely misunderstood. It's known as a party spirit that is often consumed as a shot or in a margarita, and is blamed for the hangovers that happen after a night of drinking. In reality, it's this beautiful spirit that is produced through sophisticated processes that have been perfected over generations, and they have the highest quality spirits on the market. Most analysts have predicted nominal growth in the industry, about 4%. So they're seeing tequila as just another spirit that's going to act exactly like whiskey or vodka. In reality, the tequila market is much closer to wine, and that it's dependent on solely agave to make the product. There's been a substantial increase in tequila brands on the market, many of which were formed after the $1 billion sale of Casamigos in 2017. Agaves take about 5 to 10 years to mature after being planted. So the agaves that were planted in response to Casamigos' sale can't be harvested until 2022 at the earliest. This misunderstanding of the market has led to minimal innovation within the tequila-related industries. Enter Oslo. We're the first brand that is made for tequila lovers by tequila lovers. We partner with James Beard award-winning mixologists to create the first ever mixer designed to perfectly complement tequila in every way. Our flagship flavor is a delicious lemon mint. It has just 10 calories and 3 grams of sugar per serving. It is packed with powerful electrolytes, antioxidants, and adaptogens. We'll be expanding into additional flavors and other tequila-related products in the future. And our goal is to make tequila as approachable and delicious as possible while celebrating the spirit as opposed to covering it up.
You're lucky there's only 2 of us. Otherwise, I would have taken, right.
You would have kicked me out? Well, thank you, everybody, for the time.
Well, so if you have a question, by the way, for Sam, drop it in the comments, and we will do that. By the way, folks backstage, if you want to leave a comment in the private chat, I'm happy to try to raise that for you as well. But Sam, I'll start with a couple of softballs for you here. Why did you choose tequila? Are you a tequila drinker? Like, was it the market opportunity? Was there something else?
It's kind of all in one. So I am a huge tequila fan. And then I became a tequila fan actually because of Casamigos. So 2017 timeframe was when I first got introduced to, we'll call it like real authentic tequila, 100% pure agave, moving away from the Jose Cuervo that is served at college bars across the country. But it
What are you
was,
saying? That's not tequila?
it's no offense to Jose Cuervo. They've created the industry. But no, so I mean, I think tequila, like I said, has been really well known for causing a lot of hangovers. And a lot of that is because there was like a 20-year stretch where the government regulations kind of allowed you to put anything into tequila. And so with the resurgence of 100% pure agave, Casamigos, I started drinking it, loved everything about it, just the culture and everything it represented and the taste, obviously. And what I found is that there's really just three ways to drink it: neat or on the rocks, as a shot, or in a margarita, and like, lesser known Paloma. So there's really nothing that has come out that is not within that category. And with tequila just continuing to grow and all these new brands that are coming out there, celebrity endorsed brands and whatnot, I saw that there was a huge opportunity for something that, I likened it to the gold rush where everybody's going to the gold and doing it, but most of them are going to go broke. I can't compete with the rock. So I can't get a tequila brand that's going to live, but I can be Levi's and create a brand that's tangential to that market that can really establish itself as a great option. And so I see the question pop up on the screen on my ideal audience profile. So ideal profile is really just residents of Denver. So we're going geared towards tequila lovers, obviously first, but active lifestyle. Our product is brewed kind of like an herbal tea, so it has this like healthy, herbally kombucha type vibe to the actual product. Very light, and it has these functional ingredients that help you. So we're going towards active lifestyle, people that are health conscious in the Denver area. Likely young professionals, people that are still, have spending money, like to go out and drink with their friends and things of that sort.
I have a question from Nick as well. Price, margins, how's the price compared to competitors?
Yeah, so we are priced right now $6 per 8-ounce bottle, and then we sell 4 packs for $21. We're definitely a premium product within the mixer category. There are very few kind of like functional mixers in the same. Owl's Brew out of New York is probably the most similar to us. We are priced almost identical. They sell theirs in 16-ounce bottles, so we just have a little slightly different packaging option than them. But in terms of like in the Denver market, we're probably most closely compared. We'll be next to kombucha on the shelves, so we'll be like very similarly priced to like premium kombucha options.
Okay. Luis has a follow-up question. He said, is the mixer poured light like a tincture or heavy like a margarita mix?
It is closer to a margarita mix. So we are branding ourselves as a healthy, light, refreshing, alternative to margarita mixes. So the prescribed kind of recommended is 2-to-1 ratio. So two parts Oslo, 1 part tequila. As somebody who loves the flavor of tequila, I do less. I do more of a 1-to-1 ratio. I've had a lot of my customers tell me that they treat it almost like a bitters, where they really love their sipping tequila. And this is kind of like in lieu of a lime wedge or something, they'll just add a little bit to give it a little bit more complexity and flavor.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
From Jonah, where is Hoslo available for purchase?
So right now we are available through our e-commerce site, shipping all throughout Colorado. And then we also have location at the City Park Farmers Market. And then we have a few test liquor stores and bars that we're going to be selling cocktails out of that are coming out in a couple of weeks. We've been live for 3 weeks on the Shopify store. So
all
early
right,
days
nice.
here.
Nice. But there's no alcohol in it. It's a mixer. So theoretically you could ship it anywhere.
Anywhere, yes. So the only constraints right now to shipping it everywhere is like production and keeping inventory. We've been selling out every single week, so we'll get inventory in stock, and then we sell it out either through the website or at the farmers market. So we're working on scaling the production. I have a pretty long list of back orders for people outside of Colorado looking for it. So, which is exciting, but it's a little stressful trying to scale that all at once. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Sam, for telling us about Hoslo. Sounds awesome. I couldn't try it last time because I was still cutting, but someday I will try it soon.
Hey man, 10 calories, 3 grams of sugar. I keep it light for you, but I understand as well.
Soon enough. All right, my friend, we'll have you back after in a little bit. All righty. So next up we have Austin and Jason and Jonah from Tipper. Guys, do you have your deck ready to share? What's up, everybody? Oh, there we go. All right, Austin. Okay, I'll tell you when. You ready? Set.
Well, hold on. I got to find the present button here. All right. Yeah, I'm ready.
You're on.
All right, sweet. So I'm Austin, and I am one of the co-founders of Tipper. We're at usetipper.com. And what we do is we help coffee shops and breweries using Square point of sale systems allocate tips accurately to employees in 2 minutes or less. And the way that we came up with this idea is sort of scratching our own itch. And I'll let Jason jump in and talk about the problem that he was dealing with.
Yeah, so I've operated a coffee shop that Austin and I both own for the past 5 years. And one of my personal biggest pains was going through and allocating each tip that would come in per transaction to the employee that was working. I'd spend 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours per payroll on this. And we do 2 payrolls a month. And so it was the part that I always really got annoyed with. And so we decided to try and build a solution here. So we brought on Jonah to the team, who's a software developer, and he built a system that quickly integrates with your Square account. And it calculates tips for all of the employees who are clocked in during a pay period.
So here's a quick screenshot of what it looks like. It's 2 clicks. It's an integration. You integrate with your Square account, and then you hit 2 more buttons. And like Jason mentioned, the tips can show up here. So what we get really, really excited about, and I mentioned in the fireside chat earlier, a lot about Jason and I working together. We've always gotten excited about the team, but we're most excited about this project because it's the first project where Jonah is working together with us. And he's the real rock star here. He's built and sold 2 tech companies, one in high school and then one before he graduated college. So he has great experience and he's an amazing entrepreneur. And so we're super excited to work together with him on this. And we've got plenty more in the pipeline.
Awesome. That was great, guys. And thank you, I know, for joining last minute to present. So I certainly appreciate you rising to the occasion. If you have a question, by the way, for the gang from Tipper, leave it in the comments. I will get to it. But I will start off with one quick question. I was like, which is basically, why is this not a native capability? Like, I guess I don't understand how come it's not accounted for.
That's a great question.
Great question.
That's what has kind of blown our minds in the beginning with this. Yeah, we've talked to Square countless times, and they have a solution to tip pool, which means that you essentially just distribute all the tips from a pay period to anyone who is working. But ultimately, it's a bit unfair to the people who are really hustling and trying to like create good interactions and get good tips. I mean, for our coffee shop, as one example, our employees make more in tips per hour than they get from what we're paying them. So it's really important that people get allocated fairly. So it's amazing that Square doesn't have this solution already.
And what is your business model, I guess? So is it a monthly fee that I pay, or how does it work?
Yeah, it's just a SaaS model, and it's going to be something in like the $29 to $39 a month range for a coffee shop owner per location.
Nice. Luis says, props to you for allocating tips fairly. Well, I guess so will you support both models? Because I know some places actually, they do the pooling to help like the behind the house staff and other things like that, or, there's a lot of models, I guess, in the tipping universe. Do you plan to support multiple versions of methods for tipping, or is it purely for this use case?
Yeah, I think that's a feature that we would build out eventually. We're really just trying to get really specific on who our ideal client is right now. And our ideal client is someone who uses Square, who uses tip allocation, or wants to start allocating as opposed to pooling.
Oh, we lost you, Greg.
Nick was asking, does the consumer need to have a Square account to tip?
No, the consumer, like whenever you go into a coffee shop and you buy a coffee, or a lot of breweries use Square as well. And so, whenever you check out to buy your beer, they turn the screen around and it asks, either $1, $2, $3, or some people have like 10, 15, 20% that you can add on. So the consumer doesn't need that. We're selling to the coffee shop or brewery owner.
Luis had a question. He's like, what's your biggest problem right now?
We're all running like at least 3 businesses, and so time. We were all out just like, well, Jonah just released the first version of this yesterday. It was awesome. He cranked this out in like a week, and now Jason and I and another guy that we've brought on to help with sales have just kind of been pounding the pavement. And so we're just taking a bootstrapped approach of like really trying to talk to like that ideal customer. And really who that is a coffee shop who uses Square. And we've already talked to a couple of them just in a day who have expressed that like, yes, this is a problem. And we talk about it all the time.
I have a question. I guess like how horizontal is the technology ultimately? Like, could you deploy it on other platforms or other things?
Yeah, so the system's been built so that at a point we'll get to a point where you can integrate unlimited amount of point of sale systems. As long as the point of sale API offers the endpoints that we need, we'll be able to tie into Clover and all these other ones that'll allow us to definitely broaden our market for sure.
Sorry, my new puppy just spilled all his water all over the floor and then peed on it. Rudy, so what stage are you currently like? Are you in pre-launch phase or launch? I think you sort of touched on that.
We're launched, so we have the initial kind of version up and ready to go, which allows any client who has a Square account to go ahead and hook it up to our app.usetipper.com and run through the tip allocation process for their locations.
So yeah, and just to kind of further clarify, sort of like yesterday was our kickoff call, and we're using our coffee shop as sort of like the test dummy. And Jason's been able to use this, for the last payroll or 2 periods. And
Yep.
We've sort of worked through a couple of the initial bugs and got to a point yesterday to where it's all accurate, at least for our shop. So we feel comfortable bringing other people on at this point. So I think going back to that problem is just like getting this in front of people right now.
Nice. So Nick has one more question. Why wouldn't a coffee shop use this product?
Yeah, I can jump in here. I've already started to talk to a couple of coffee shop owners today, and honestly, what I've found, a couple of the operators that I've talked to that use Square, they think that Square is allocating their tips to the employees per transaction, but in reality, there is no feature in Square to do that. It just tip pools. So that is one big barrier I'm already seeing, is people think they're doing it this way, but they really have no idea because they've not actually jumped into each transaction on where the money's going to each employee. The tip just shows up on the employee's paycheck, and they are either happy or they complain about it. So that's the biggest problem I'm seeing right now, is the coffee shop operators are unaware that they think this feature exists, but it really doesn't.
Very interesting. By the way, what does the employee see? Is it just come back as a single number to them, or do they get like a detailed report of something?
Yeah, it comes out as one one number, which the employee will see on their paycheck, but the operator who runs the report can go in and see each transaction and see how much tip was put on each item sold. So there's a data validation side of it as well.
Awesome. Makes perfect sense. All right, gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for taking our questions. We're up to the fun part now. So this is your chance to shape the rest of the evening. See who's going to go and celebrate with either a Hazelo or, a coffee tonight. This is where you get to vote. And so the way that the voting works is that ultimately you are going to pick the winner. Everyone out there watching, basically you can come through and you can go and pick your favorite company from tonight. If you have your camera ready and it's easier for you to scan, there's a QR code that'll take you over. But if not, the URL is denvervoting.founderslive.com. You are all welcome to vote for yourselves, I believe. You're not eliminated from the process. So, Sam, unfortunately, you have a very, very stacked house against you today.
It happens, man. I kudos to them for bringing 3 people. I'm impressed.
But yeah, let me just open up the voting. I'll give everyone just a couple minutes to do the voting, and then we will see who our winner is. I guess I haven't voted yet either. Let me know if you have any trouble accessing the form itself. The link is the link working for you guys? All right, cool. All right. Okay, that's working. Whoa. All right. We got a bunch of responses in. And all right. There's not a definitive winner yet. You guys. I'm still waiting. I'm going to have to wait just a second longer to see if you are out there and you haven't had. Oh, yeah, sure. I can get a clickable link. That in there. So if you are watching the stream in the chat, there should be a link also that you can click. But certainly, as I mentioned, the QR code, or you can type in that URL as well. And just see. It's all right. Oh my God. Really? Okay. It was like just tied for a second. All right. I just trying to wait. I've been waiting just to see until we get now a clear winner, because don't have one yet. We're gonna give it 30 more seconds.
Worst comes to worst, we can tie. I'm not ashamed to tie these 3 gents over here.
I wish that was the case, but the problem is that that's not how Amazon takes it. So
Fair enough.
Here's what is possible is you could win but not win, right? You could win but say, hey, you guys can use it more, so I'll let you have it. All right. We are getting there. We're almost done. I'm going to give it just 10 more seconds. Oh, we're still getting votes though. This is the thing. You guys doing a good job getting the word out there. Oh, it's still going up. All right. I think we clearly have a audience choice at this point now. So our winner is Drink Hazel. Sam, you did it. I don't know what you
Thanks,
did.
guys.
I don't know what you did. How many browsers you got open over there?
Oh man, it's just me in my room without air conditioning alone. So I think people saw the red sweaty face and they were taking pity on me. So that's what was going on. Thank you though, everyone.
No, well, I appreciate it. Look, I think you guys both have great businesses actually. And I actually think you may be able to help each other because Sam is constantly talking to bars now and breweries and other places who could use your software. And certainly the software seems like a great fit out there. So I think, it'll be a very interesting opportunity for you all going forward. So
I
congratulations.
also work part-time at a distillery that does tip allocation. So I have at least one lead for you guys when we get off the call.
There you go. Even better than AWS credits is a SaaS customer.
There we go. Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that. By the way, if you want to pitch for a future event, by the way, head over to foundercraft.com/founderslive. Easy way for you to, Nick says tip for a tip. You can head over here and get access to that. And that's it, my friends. It is a wrap for tonight at this month's Founders Live. You guys all did an amazing job. Good job with the pitching. Good job with ultimately creating some interesting businesses. And I look forward to seeing them flourish, especially in our local community here, so that you can help build up both better startups, better ecosystem, and better businesses all around. Thank you, everybody, for watching. The video will be online in case anyone wants to watch it later. So we super encourage you to check things out in the future. And thank you so much, gang, for being here. I appreciate it. Have a great night. Looks like it's going to be Hazel for drinks tonight, guys. All righty, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.